Before love walks into a man's life, loneliness often sets the table. But when the hunger for affection becomes louder than wisdom, choices are made from emotion, not from clarity. And some journeys begin, not from strength, but from an ache. This story is about a man who rebuilt a home without settling the past. And this mistake brought chaos and terror into his home. In a peaceful town where orange earth kissed the solace of every barefoot child and the sound of evening prayers wove through the air like lullabies, there lived a man named Obinna. Obinna was a man like many others in the eastern part of Nigeria, a western African country. Hard-working, quiet, respectful, he had built a small life with his hands. A home with red earth walls, a carpentry shop that fed his daily bread. His days were predictable, but his heart was not. The sun rose the same way every morning, warming the rusted zinc roofs, painting orange light across the red sweat. Children ran to fetch water, women swept the compounds. Palm trees waved in silent rhythm, and Obinna, he would stand on his veranda, watching the world with eyes that longed for more. He made chairs, fixed doors, nailed roofs. His hands were strong, but his nights were quiet. No one to serve him soup. No one to laugh with over pepper soup on Sundays. Loneliness doesn't shout, it whispers. In the pauses between hammer strikes. Sometimes he would pause mid-work, look up at the hills beyond the town, and wonder, is this all my life will be? A house with no children's footsteps. A heart without a home. And so, one Saturday morning, with the sun stretching across the sky like a promise, Obinna dusted his shirt, took his small bag, and went to the market. He never knew what awaits him on that very day. Even good men can make poor decisions when lonely. The need to be loved must be led by wisdom, not by desperation. Before a storm, the world is often quiet. The road to the village market was filled with noise. But inside Obinna's heart, there was silence. That kind of silence that waits for something or someone. And there she was, Chinyere, standing behind her mother's fruit stall, wearing a red and yellow wrapper, her smile as easy as the morning breeze. Beauty can arrest a man, but it is warmth that holds him. She laughed at his quiet jokes, sold him sweet oranges and asked no questions. But something in her eyes lingered, like she saw past the man, into his waiting soul. Obinna started buying what he didn't need. Just to see her again, her eyes held stories, her laugh, like a song he never knew he needed. But beneath her grace was something else. Something that whispered, I don't forget easily. Obinna once saw her quarrel with a friend. She held onto it for weeks. He heard how she cursed her cousin who wronged her years ago. But love blinds, and lust deafens. So he said to himself, she's just strong. It means she's passionate. And with that, he married her, ignoring these red flags. The wedding was full, the dance wild. Laughter filled the house, they held hands, shared dreams. Now Obinna is fully complete again, and after a year into their marriage they gave birth to a boy child. And Obinna truly believed, that his choice was right. But storms don't start with thunder, they begin with clouds. Now there was quarrel just like every couple experiences sometimes in their marriage home. Small disagreements. Bitter words from the past, Chinyere never let go. Even when Obinna apologized, she wore grudges like jewelry. One day, she brought up something he said 2 years ago, during childbirth. Another day, she accused him of favoring his mother too much. It became war in small doses, and Obinna, he grew tired. Not because he didn't love, but because love alone cannot cure bitterness. With one final quarrel that shook the house, Obinna left. Not just the house, but the hope, a son between them. But a wall even he could not climb. They say love is blind, but wisdom has eyes. If you marry only beauty, you may have a wedding, but not a home. Character is the foundation of forever. Time heals all wounds, but some wounds don't just bleed, they stain the soul. This is the story of Obinna, a man whose broken past met a kind woman's healing hands, but whose choices would one day burn the very home he tried to rebuild. 5 years had passed since Obinna left his first wife. Not with joy, not with peace, but with bitterness like dry yum left too long in fire. The love that once bloomed between them had rotted. Anger lived in that house, and love had packed its bag. It was a Wednesday market day. Obinna, weary and quiet, waited in line for pepper. And then he saw her, Rita, a woman whose eyes carried both peace and purpose. She wasn't loud. She wasn't flashy, but her spirit spoke. She greeted Obinna kindly. They talked about the price of a goosey, about the season's rain, about silence, the kind only to lonely hearts truly understand. And week after week, they found reasons to meet again. After some periods of affection, Obinna told her the truth. I have a son. With a woman I no longer love, he said. My heart is tired, but not closed. Rita didn't run. She didn't judge. She looked him in the eyes and said, then let's build something, slow and true. And so they did. They married in a quiet ceremony, without loud music, but with warm prayers. After a few months into their marriage, their first child, a daughter, was born. Chisholm came like morning light. Obinna smiled more. Rita sang again. And for the first time in years, love returned to Obinna's doorstep. You see, sometimes a second chance feels like mercy from the sky. But mercy only grows when you bury your bitterness. Obinna thought he had moved on. But some seeds remain buried, and bitterness. It always grows where truth is left untold. Before I continue, please kindly support us by subscribing to this YouTube channel. Click on the notification bell to be updated on every story we drop here. And don't forget to share. God bless you. In every home, there comes a test. A decision made from love that opens the door to pain. This was Rita's test. A woman of peace, unaware that her kindness would invite a storm. One night, after dinner, with laughter still echoing in the room, Rita turned to Obinna. Bring your son, she said. Let him live here, with us. Let him feel the love he missed. Obinna froze. His smile faded, like a candle touched by harmattan wind. Obinna sat silently. He remembered his son's eyes. How they no longer held wonder, only questions. And his first wife's voice, like a whisper from the grave, still echoing in his mind. You left us, but your blood remains mine, she had once said. Weeks later, Obinna traveled through red dust roads, old memories, and silent curses. The first wife greeted him without warmth. Her eyes said, you came for the child, not for me. She laughed bitterly. So now your Rita wants to play mother to my son. Let her try. That night, she spoke to the boy. She knelt beside him, her voice soft and slow. You see that girl, that daughter in your dad's new house? She took your place. When you step into that house, don't go there as a child. Go as fire, make them pay. And like bitter wine, her words settled deep. Obinna's son came quietly. No smile, no tears, only silence. Chisholm ran to him with laughter. Big brother, she shouted. He stared at her, and saw not a sister, but a shadow of all he had lost. At night, Rita prayed. In the day, she cooked for him. But love cannot grow where resentment sleeps. The boy said little, ate little, watched everything. Sometimes, we invite people into our homes, not knowing they come with luggage packed by someone else. Rita opened her arms, but the boy had already been armed. Forgiveness is a gift, but revenge is a seed watered by the past. When a house breaks, it never starts from the rooftop. It begins with silence, glances, and hearts pretending. Obinna's home still smelled of jollof and joy. But beneath the laughter, a shadow had entered. The boy watched how they laughed, how they prayed before food, how Chisholm called him big brother like he belonged. But in his mind, his mother's voice repeated, she stole your place. Now take it back. Each smile from Rita, each hug from Chisholm, felt like salt on an open wound. Rita noticed his silence. She bought him new clothes, sat beside him at bedtime, read Bible stories and prayed. You're part of us, she said to the boy softly. But love cannot fill a heart filled with revenge. Chisholm's toys began to disappear. Her notebooks were torn, her slippers sliced. Rita sensed something, but said nothing. Obinna was busy, work, money, distractions. Could not let him notice anything. He did not see the storm brewing. One evening, Chisholm came running, crying, bleeding from the arm. "I fell," she said, but the boy's eyes said otherwise. Rita asked gently, "Did he push you?" Chisholm looked down and said nothing. That night, Rita went to her husband. "Obinna, your son is not well, something is not right." Obinna shouted, "He's a boy, he's adjusting. Don't poison this house with suspicion." Rita stopped talking because she doesn't want any issues, and so, the crack widened. At night, the boy child lay awake, staring at the ceiling. Chisholm's laughter haunted him. Why is she kind? Why didn't she fight back? And yet, his mother's voice returned, "You are not her brother, you are her revenge." Bitterness turns victims into monsters. Rita fought with prayers, Obinna fought with denial. And the little boy, he fought with the past. Evil doesn't always come with shouting, sometimes it enters silently. Not every broken child is dangerous, but every dangerous child was once broken. Denial blinds even the most loving father. A child poisoned by vengeance can destroy what love built. They say when evil walks into your home, it does not bang the door. It tiptoes in, wearing a child's face. In Obinna's home, the day had ended, but a darker night was just beginning. Rita tucked Chisholm into bed. The girl whispered, "Can I sleep in my big brother's room tomorrow?" Rita smiled. "Yes, my love. We're a family now, but families can be torn by one unseen wound." The clock ticked. Rain tapped on the windows. The little boy opened his eyes. He heard nothing, only his mother's words echoing over and over again. "Tonight, you make them feel what I felt." He got up, barefoot, and walked toward Chisholm's door. Chisholm was asleep, peacefully, innocently. The boy, her stepbrother, stood by her bed. His hands shook, but bitterness steadied him. And then, the silence broke. Not with a scream, but with a soft whimper. A child's last breath. Chisholm was murdered. At dawn, Rita found her. Cold, still, her scream tore through the morning like thunder. Obinna ran in and collapsed beside her lifeless body. And the boy, he just stood, watching. The police came, neighbors gathered, but before a question was asked, the boy spoke. "She took everything from my mother. Now I took everything from her." Obinna screamed, "You're my son," but the boy replied, "No, I was my mother's weapon." And with that, the house shattered. One decision, to open the door. One decision, to hold on to anger. One decision, to poison a child's heart. And a home was lost. Forgiveness is not weakness, it is protection. Because when you feed pain, pain grows teeth. And when a child becomes the carrier of your hate, innocence dies. Let go before what you carry carries away everything. When a fire burns a house, we ask who lit the match. But we forget to ask, who passed the flame? Chisholm's blood cried from the ground. And heaven listened. Now the past must answer. He sat alone, the little boy. The officers didn't beat him. They didn't need to. The weight of what he did was already crushing him. The detective asked him, "Who told you to do this?" The boy whispers, "My mother said they deserved it." And just like that, the silence broke, the truth spilled. In the village, the morning was quiet. A knock on the door, 3 officers. Chiara Obinna's first wife, face twisted. She knew why they came. But her lips still lied. "I didn't kill anyone," she stammered. But the voice notes told another story. The neighbor's testimony sealed her fate. Both mother and son standing before the court. The judge read their words back to them. The mother turned pale. The boy wept. The courtroom didn't need noise, only truth. On the charge of manslaughter and incitement to violence, the court finds the mother guilty. Sentenced to 20 years imprisonment, the boy sent to a juvenile rehabilitation facility until he turns 21, not out of hatred, but for healing, because even monsters are made. Obinna didn't rejoice. He didn't clap. He sat with Chisholm's photo in his hand. A man who tried to build love, but didn't guard the gate. Obinna whispers, I should have listened. I should have healed before I rebuilt. Justice is not just punishment. It is a warning, what we teach our children. Lives longer than us. And hate is a seed that grows into murder when left to fester. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button as support for work well done. Also watch our previous story on the legend of Zuberi, who was destined to bring peace to a chaotic village.